Tuesday after the Tuesday evening, you guys. Thanks for hanging out here. If you're new, go down to that bottom right hand corner, hit that options tenor logo, and subscribe. We're going to go over a quick view from SP Futures ES on multiple time frames, and then we'll end it off with probably the VIX and the SPY just to check on some volume and see what kind of volatility is happening. Okay, so here we are, ES on the monthly, top of the channel. We're looking at intermediate wave 3, 4, working on wave 5. Came up here, reversal candle, peaked above it, and now reversing back down. Looking pretty bearish with the cloud, bearish cloud cover, but we're still over all the MA, so can't quite be too bearish on the monthly at this point. MACD is not crossed over yet. We do have some divergence in the RSI, something to be aware of. All right, so let's move down to the weekly, see if we see anything else. Any more information? So we have a rising wedge at this point, and we did break down from that wedge. That is bearish. That's a signal in itself. We had a top of the channel rejection. We seem to have this this consolidation zone that we're trying to break down from. We have the 20-week MA that we're now testing. We are underneath it by about 10 points at this level, which is bearish, and we'll probably see some follow through after that. We see that this indecision candle last week that we put here, we're starting to break down from it. So looking for some follow through at this point. Will we get any bounces in between? Probably just, just a couple dead cat bounces or whatnot. But it looks like we're on intermediate wave 3, working on wave 4. I don't know how big this correction will be, but we do have some ideas, and we'll show you down on the lower channels. But we are still working our way down on the RSI and the MACD. We're at that about 50 level here on RSI, so possible for a bounce, but not really looking for much at this point. Going down to the daily. Daily trend is our friend. So we had two scenarios that we were looking out for. We were looking out for that possible ending diagonal, which this would be the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And I'm kind of getting rid of that scenario at this point, even though we still have a higher low at this, from this low to this low. We still have a higher low at that point, so there's still slight chances this still could be in effect. But at this point, I think it's getting pretty doubtful. Here were the previous all-time highs, so we are coming to that level to test it one more time. Let's see if we can hold it there or if we continue to the downside. But at this point, if we put a count on this, if this is the end of wave 3, looks like we're going to stick with our original plan, and that's going for an A, B, and a C wave down here. So we should get a 3-wave move down, 3-wave move expanded B, and then a 5-wave move down here to NC. So this would be a 1, 2, and working on wave 3, possible 4 bounce, and then 5. This level here is just the I believe it was the 50-week or the 50-month. If I check back, I actually had that on there. Just looking back. Oh, it's the 8 EMA for the monthly. So that's why I had this yellow line here, just to see what kind of reaction we get from that point and to see where it comes into fruition here with these peaks. So there's a support level that coincides with it. So I just wanted to keep that there just for my own reference on the higher time frames. So at this point, it looks like we have a 1, 2 working on wave 3. We could go down to lower time frame. Let's check it out. We don't usually go down this far here lately, but we were looking at this. There's a lot of action going on here. I know a lot of lines. We have a lot of price levels. After this impulsive 5-wave move down, we have a corrective wave move up. So that's possibly this a 1, 2. And now it does appear that we had 5-wave move down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a possible 1, 2 in itself, and working on wave 3 here. Or something that we had to look out for was that this was possibly a an A, B, and then the C wave move down here, which that would be this a WXY or an ABC, to where this is the A wave, a B up, and now we're looking for a 5-wave move down, which would mean we'll get a little bit of a bounce here. If this is a 1 and then a 2, we should come back to this trend line and possibly this 50% retracement or a little bit higher. But that's what we'll be looking out for. You know, there's all sorts of ways you can count this, but really we just have to watch price action and watch these levels. Do we start regaining levels quickly? Then that means that something else is going on, that our corrective move may be over. So we'll just continue to monitor this on this real short term. I do expect somewhat of a bounce. If we do lose this 45.66 area, this is such a huge area, that's why I highlighted it. If we do start to lose this and close hourly below here, then I think we'll just really start to accelerate to the downside, and that we already had our 1, 2, 1, 2, and this wave, rest of the wave 3, 4, 5 down should be pretty impulsive, and the price action should show that we're not stopping anytime soon, which would mean tomorrow would probably be a pretty dramatic day to the downside. If we do start to get to a bounce here, then we'll just have to see when we get a reaction and we start heading back reversal to the downside, and then it should be impulsive at that point. So those are kind of the detailed versions of what we should see here. Either way, we're still bearish. We want to be cautious on any bounces to see if our correction is complete, but I highly doubt that at this point. We're still working with our original plan that the C wave move down should go much further. Now, let's go back to that daily. Where do you think we should go? There's a lot of opportunities here, but really I'm looking at the 200 MA with this rising pivot here. So that could bring us down to the 4,400 area. That seems like a likely area for us to correct, and that'd be a significant correction. It could actually go lower. Beyond that, if this is a much higher time frame, correction here, and maybe this is where the actual bear market begins, and we topped out and we could start off with a 5-wave move down for our wave 1 down, and a wave 2 up. We'll have a nice big bounce and then continue on to the downside. That would be a very bearish scenario. I'm not quite there yet in my head, but that could happen. So we have to keep that in mind. Always have the bearish and the bullish scenarios in mind, so you know what's happening when price action starts to tell you. Let's move over to SPY, see if we see anything there on the volume. Go over to the daily time frame. Trend is our friend. You saw we had this this bump line coming all the way up from the Corona crash, or was that yeah, all the way down from the Corona crash. We broke that and we started to close this gap here. I do believe we may have, let's see, closing price on this candle is 454.98, and the low on here 455.31. So we didn't quite fill that gap all the way. Pennies do matter. It's not a coincidence. So we may get our bounce here. Other than that, I would expect us to just gap down. If we're going to be very bearish, we're just going to gap down underneath this all-time high previously from August of last year and just continue to the downside, probably breaking through, slicing through all these gaps here at that point, being pretty impulsive. Okay, so the volume, it's not on this chart. Interesting. How do I get my volume back? I'm not going to do this on the spot. Don't know why it's not on. Huh. Okay. That's fine. Let's see if it's on any of the other charts here. Oh, it's probably because I'm in the pre-market mode. So let me get over to Trend is my friend. Ignore all this stuff here. Let's go over to SPY at this point. Sorry, guys. There it is. Okay, So we had this huge spike in volume here on that's a 65. That was the end of day. So yes, we did actually have quite some volume here, showing signs that possibly that we're increasing on the bearish trend, or I don't consider this a reversal candle, but if this happens to be some volume from the bulls here, then we should see a nice bounce tomorrow. So does it really say much to us? Yeah, I would put it more on the bear territory side, that we gap down, we have some volume going to the downside. So I'd be more bearish on that than I would for a reversal signal. All right. And lastly, go over to the VIX. Now the VIX made that huge move there. We started to come down. We had a trend line. We started to break above it, close above it, and we have the VIX expiration. So we gapped up here just a little bit, and we're starting to move up with the bullish crossover on the MACD and over the zero line. So we're really looking bullish on the VIX here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we had some follow through. Maybe we back test the trend line, but we are looking for some higher points here on the VIX. And if levels come below 4,500 on the ES, then we really should be expecting to at least retest these 26, 27 area on the VIX. So that's something to look out for. Hopefully we'll get that bounce so we can reload some of these VIX plays and QQQ and SPY puts, and we'll go from there. But I hope this helps out you guys. I got a couple plays in. This is my Patreon list. If you're interested in joining these, I give levels, targets, and what we're doing with these plays. So thanks for joining us here at Options Tender, you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you tomorrow.